Hey guys, so today I am going to be showing you how I used to do my makeup, like way back in the day. I've been wanting to do this for ages, so quite a lot of you suggested that I should do it as one of my like half and half videos, so do half of my face how I used to do it and the other half how I do my makeup now, so we can compare it. And I also saw Sophie Foster do this video quite recently and I really enjoyed watching hers, so I thought I'd give it a go myself. I'll leave her video linked below in case you haven't seen it. So I think I'm going to do this side, how I do my makeup now. So this is Sophie age 22 makeup, and then this side is going to be how I used to do it age, let's say 14. I think I was about 14 when I started properly doing my makeup, so 14, 22, let's see how much difference 8 years has made. Is it 8 years? 8 years. Spot on. Okay, so how I do my makeup now, I will grab my foundation, squeeze a little bit on my hand and dot it on my face. That's helpful, that's always a good start. A brush, this is how I rub it in. You know that already. This is a Real Techniques buffing brush. This is how I blend in my foundation every single day. I'm not going to focus too much on the products that I'm using in this video. I will leave them all linked below in case you're interested, but I'm mainly focusing on like the technique. But if you do want to see the actual products I used to use when I was younger, I did a full face using my old favourites video last week, so I'll leave that link below in case you want to see like my old school makeup products that I used to use. But today we are just going to be focusing on my techniques, or lack of techniques. Now, for the side on how I used to do my makeup, I didn't actually used to start with foundation. I used to do my mascara first before anything else, and you will see why in a minute. So yeah, I literally just used to go like this for ages. I'd get it all over my eyelid. I didn't care because I'd clear it up afterwards. That was my logic behind it. So I just thought, you know, if I don't have to worry about getting it on my face, I can like really go for it. I used to spend probably about 10 minutes on my mascara. I hope I still know how to make them big. I hope I haven't lost my technique. Not that there is really much technique, it's literally just wiggle the crap out of your eyelash. I'm getting bored, I just want to move on, but this is not as big as they used to be. I'm going to clear it up. So whilst I'm letting the first coat dry, I would then just get some kind of makeup remover and wipe off the absolute mess that I've made. I'm just thinking how much product I used to waste doing it like this, because think how much stuff I would have to wipe away. What an absolutely wasteful idea. And there we go, all clean. You would never know that I just attacked my eye with some mascara. Oh yeah, we're getting somewhere. So there we go. These are my clumpy eyelashes, very nice. And you guys are gonna hate this bit. I can't believe I'm gonna have to do this, and I can't believe I used to do this all the time. I used to curl my eyelashes after I'd put my mascara on. It's like makeup sin, I swear. When I realised how bad it was for your eyelashes, I was like, oh no. Like I think I saw it in a YouTube video and I was like, I've been doing that for years. No wonder I'm losing so many eyelashes. So haven't done this in a very long time, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna do it on this eyelash because that is how I used to do my makeup. Are you ready? So now that that is done, I can now do my foundation on the other side because that would be the next step. So I'm just gonna take my foundation, the old runny things out again, hello. After this video, I am throwing it away, don't you worry. I can't believe I'm putting my face through this twice. If you didn't see last week's video, this foundation is like, probably about like 8 years out of date or something like that. So when I was younger, I used to apply my foundation with my fingers. I had no brushes, I had no sponges. I used to just whack it on and rub it in as I went along. This feels really weird. It's just such a messy way of doing it. Also, I definitely used to apply a lot more than I do now. Like, I wanted that full coverage to the max look, so I'm gonna have to put probably like 2 layers on. It's gonna feel so horrible. So the concealer that I use nowadays is on a little dofer thingamabob, and I will just go like this with it. Dab, 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 a little bit around my nose, done. Bob's your uncle, concealer, complete. Back in the day, I would grab a stick concealer like this, which I do not get on with these days, but back then I thought this was the one. I'd never put it under my eyes, like it took me a long time to learn that you can put concealer under your eyes and it would actually help. Was not aware of that, so I didn't put anything under my eyes. I would put it around my nose and it would cake up like a bitch. I just pop it here, I just go like that and let that cake up throughout the day. And yeah, then I just put it on any blemishes. I don't really have much going on, but that will do. I'd just go like that, and I'm pretty sure I wouldn't blend it in very well, and it didn't really match, so I'd just have like splodges on my face. It would just make my spots more obvious, I swear. And because this one says that it's supposed to help your spots, I was just like, well, the more the merrier then. Cake it on, it's going to help them. I don't think it does that. Okay, so for powder, I, funnily enough, nowadays get a powder brush, go like this and go like this. However, I didn't used to use powder, so I'm only going to be doing this on this side. Could really have done with the old powder, but back then didn't even cross my mind. So for eyebrows nowadays, as you all know, I like to use a product that has not that end. Does anyone else have this and they just always pull off the wrong end that they don't want? It's like, don't want that end, for God's sake. There's definitely something in my eye that shouldn't be there. I'm going to try and ignore it. No, I can't. No, abort. So nowadays I use a eyebrow crayon-y thing and felt tip on the other end, and I just try and do like a shape. Hopefully today it goes well, otherwise the comparison ain't going to be much, but I'm going to try and do my best eyebrow ever. That is how I roughly do my eyebrows now. They're different every time. They don't always turn out like this. Sometimes they're worse, sometimes they're better. I'm now going to show you how I used to do my eyebrows. I would just get like an eyebrow powder, a bit like this. So I would just get a little bit of these colours on the slanty end and I would just run it through my eyebrows, the tiniest bit. I was so scared of it looking bad that I would just be really careful with it and just do the tiniest little bit. That is pretty much all I used to do. No shaping, nothing. I just added a bit of colour. And it wasn't even the right colour, it's way too dark. And then I'd just get this like waxy stuff on the other side and I'd just run that through. That is it. That is all I used to do. I had no idea how to like shape them or anything like that. So for my eyeshadow, nowadays I like to do this kind of look. I can never open this goddamn thing. And I just do a little shimmery pinky colour thing. That's what I like to do at the moment. So a little bit of base colour and then I'll just get a sort of brownie-ish colour. Whew. And then just take like a shimmery pinky colour, put that on my eyelid, preferably. I actually suck. I just put that like all over. Then I like to get a clean brush and take a like champagne-y kind of colour and put it in the corner. Not sure why. I just like to do that. And that, my friends, is how I attempt to do my eyeshadow in this day and age. However, if we take it back 8 years, I don't even have like an eyeshadow that I think I would have used when I was 13, 14. So I'm gonna have to use a blush. It is just like a bright pink blush because I just used to love bright pink eyeshadow. That is all I would use. I was just such a girly girl. Like, I'm not very girly these days. You ask Alex. I think he sometimes questions, you know. So I would literally just get a pink colour. It was probably a lot brighter than this, but this is all I've got. Wow. And I would just whack it all over my eyelid. I had no skills, no techniques, just one basic block colour all over my eyelid. And I think I'd go up pretty high with it. For eyeliner, as you all know, I like to do a little flick with one of these, even though I'm always being told I shouldn't do this because of my hooded eyes. If I'm honest, I just don't care. I really like having eyeliner like this, so I do it anyway. Yeah, I like to use a liquid liner and do a little flick. Is that alright? Is that acceptable? But when I was just starting out with makeup, I would use a Kohl pencil, and I would get a black and a white. Sometimes I would also get a bright blue. Depends how I was feeling, but I couldn't find a bright blue for today, so I'm gonna go black and white. That feels so weird. I would just put loads and loads of black under here. Then I would either use a bright blue or a white on my bottom line, and balls. I'm gonna have to go and get a pencil sharpener. Right, so I've sharpened him up now, and I would just literally go underneath with white. Not even like a nudie kind of colour, it was just bright white. So for my mascara nowadays, I just like to go like this. This is how you use mascara. It's run out, I keep forgetting. Just go like this really. I don't make them as big, I don't make them as clumpy. I just have it a lot more natural and try my hardest not to get it on my skin. You've got to be so careful, ain't ya? And I am not very careful with my mascara, although we're going okay so far. Literally just as I said that, I stuck it in my eye. Oh, at least it wasn't a really bad one. You know when you stick it in your eye and it literally makes your eye water for like 5 minutes and then you're like, okay, so that is my mascara. Obviously, I've already done mascara on this side, so that is done. I'm now going to move on to the rest of my face. So my bronzer nowadays, I just get a little bit on a big fluffy brush and just kind of dust it all over around here just to bronze up my skin a little bit. However, take it back 8 years. It was all very different. If you saw last week's video, you'll remember my bronzing pearls. And I did mention how I used to apply my bronzer with this sponge because I thought that was what it was there for. I thought, oh, they've given me an applicator. That's nice of them. No, that is there to just hold them in place so they don't go flying all over the place. I thought it was an applicator, so I used to wipe the sponge onto it. onto it. And then I didn't bronze in like the areas you're meant to. I used to use my bronzer on my cheeks, just on the apples of my cheeks. It was so orangey and just, whoa. It wasn't too long till I realised this wasn't a good idea. I did get a brush maybe half a year in, but this is how I started out with it. Swear down, what a plonker. Then for blush nowadays, get your blush brush and just pop a little bit on the apples of my cheeks. Just a little subtle bit like that. However, what I used to do is get an absolute ton of it. This one's not dark enough. I definitely had a much darker blush. And I would just put loads of it here. Absolutely loads of it. I loved it because it was pink, and the more pink the better. So I'd have bronzer with blush on top of it, like right on top of it. Yay! And then nowadays I will do a little bit of highlighter. So I will just grab my highlight, grab my little brush and just highlight how a normal person would. However, when I was younger, I definitely didn't know about highlight. So 14-year-old Sophie had no idea about the wonders of highlight. And oh, I can only do it on one bit of my nose. So for my lipstick nowadays, I tend to just use like a nudie brown. That's kind of like my go-to thing. Something quite subtle, but kind of natural. Why do I always talk? There we go, something a bit like that. However, this is the bit we've all been waiting for. When I was younger, I used to, along with many other people, I feel like it was just the thing that everyone did. I used to get my concealer stick and use that as a lipstick. It's like my brain went, oh, that looks like a lipstick shape. It must be a lipstick as well. I just really liked the look of having no lips, but I know I'm not alone on this. I know so many people used to do it. I would just put it on like this, and then I'd just, because obviously you can't leave it like that, I'd just sort of blend it in a little bit with my finger. Ugh, it's so dry. That looks so weird, half and half like that. Ugh. I would always finish it off with a bit of clear lip gloss. I don't know if any of you guys did that, but I used to like putting a little bit of lip gloss on top. I've bought this one just for the video, so it's completely clean, but back in the day when I did it, my lip gloss was literally like beige, where I would put it on my lips over the concealer, put it back in, and after like a year of doing that, it was just completely beige. It was just, yeah, so I'd just do that, and there we have it. This is how I used to do my makeup, and this is how I do it now. Probably not that much better, to be honest, but I'd like to think I have improved. So yeah, I'll just do a little close-up now. This is how I used to do it. This is 14-year-old Sophie's makeup, and now we shall transform, ta-da, into how I do my makeup now. This is 22-year-old Sophie's makeup. So that is the difference. Hope you enjoyed watching me do it. I had quite a lot of fun. It was like going back in time and like remembering how I used to do it. Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you next week. Friends that I'll be over here. Oh, yeah.